We got this big board ahead of us.
There we go.
So we're gonna be doing Shanon Hoppe.
It's basically a direct.
Please, Queen, we miss you, Johnny. Please, come home, Johnny.
My name is Shanon Hoppe, and I'm running to be your junior class president.
Whoa, where'd the
Welcome back, everyone. So, this is an episode of the Shanon Show, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
I can't lose that cap for the camera up there. But this is a very special episode because we've been wanting to do an in-person podcast together for quite some time.
I can't believe I'm not the first one. Like that's kind of crazy. Like I love Max, he's a great guy, but come on now, come on.
Max, well,
It was a good one.
He's here. It was a fun one.
It was. Him
fun.
and Rial? Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to Rial. Rial did the Army boot camp,
Oh, yeah,
so he
yeah.
had some fun stuff to share.
Nothing
Nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with him. Love Max. He can come on the pod anytime, actually. I just keep on looking myself up there. This is so crazy. Actually, watching me talk. But yeah, you're in person. You wanted to do a hot wings thing originally.
That's correct. That was the plan, right? I wanted to come in here because look. So the whole thing about this one is, and you said this is the main one, right?
This is the main one. I would talk to that
So the
one,
whole
yeah.
thing was obviously this is Shanon Show, right? And he's the host, and he's not gonna ever get his own episode, right? So I thought, what a better time than kind of like Shammy's award season, right? Because he's again to kind of do a pregame kind of thing and actually learn. Because you know how much content he's given us over the last year plus, right? So I thought, let's try to learn more about, like we learn a lot about him every episode, but let's learn more about him, about the process of how an episode and how a podcast gets made, so that if there's people that want to listen to it, they can do it. And I thought, why not do hot ones, bro? Freaking rip off, freaking wings, freaking we're all dying in here, freaking Penn State lady, like what the heck, bro? But it's been a little crazy since we got here, right? I mean, we had to freaking all of our stuff. He had a freaking TV in a freaking cart, and we pushed it all across campus, right? And then we were in the girls' dorm. Like every time we had to go like incognito, like going out, like looking around the hall, make sure no one was watching. So it's been kind of crazy. So hot ones a little too much, but we still want to do the questions, and I think that's what we're gonna do.
It's been a fun 2 days.
It has.
I did have a
100%.
final exam in there.
Something like that.
A little bit of a
Yep.
roadblock for us.
Yeah.
But,
It was all fun. It was all fun.
yeah, the hot ones was going to be an expensive decision. I'm
Right,
not sure if we were allowed
right.
to have hot wings. I think it's probably better off, and I'm real bad with the hot wings. I don't think you're much better.
I got seasoned.
there
I got
would
seasoned.
be a
Right? It's
whole lot of-
Albanian skin. You know. How
There
it
would
is.
be a whole lot of talking going on. We can say that. But yeah, if you got some questions for me, I'll be happy to answer. I've been wanting to do a podcast about podcasts for a
Yep,
while. I've been
yep,
trying to get another
yep.
podcast
There
that
you
was
go.
fun here. But I mean,
There
Johnny,
you go.
you got some stuff. So
I do.
fire away.
Before
Well, first, go ahead.
What's up? No, you go first.
I'll go for vote for the Shammy Awards. I'm gonna make Sunday
Yep,
the last day that you can vote because we
100%.
got to get the Shammys recorded. So vote. If you're watching this right now, go to the link in the description. Vote for the awards. There's only a few, like I don't know, categories.
100%.
So it'll take you like 40 seconds to fill it out, and every vote counts. And we'll have an award show, which should be pretty fun. And then that way, I have time to invite the people who win the awards on the show.
Right. Oh, hello.
That had to sound terrible. That's probably like top 10 bloopers right there. I've never done that before. Usually it's like hoisted, But yeah, get on the Shammy Awards. Johnny, go ahead.
Okay, real quick before I get into the questions, I do want to address the Shans personally. Do we have beef? Like, look, Kai Grubbs is an amazing human being. I love him, and his people came out. I can't lie.
Including
they
his
came out
bots.
to vote, including. And but if you guys want to say something, all right, if we have beef, just give me a time and place. All right, we will squash this, and it'll be all right.
Are you
All right?
challenging the Shams
I'm
to
just
a fight?
saying. All right, guest of the year 5 times on, and they said, best we can do 39%. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not salty.
Can we reveal that you actually voted for people who don't know what he's talking about? We're doing the guest of the year voting on the Instagram story, which is a lot of fun. I put a lot of time into that, so go vote on those. Those are daily.
Finally changed the theme too.
I thought Johnny was the odds-on favorite.
Maybe.
I thought you were the favorite to win the whole thing. Obviously, I was very wrong. He lost to Kai Grubbs in what I would say a
First round
landslide.
in Ohio State?
First round.
Unbelievable.
Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I felt bad for him. But yeah, I expected a better performance from Johnny. It didn't happen. Kai Grubbs showed up. His people showed up. Kai Grubbs is currently losing as we speak.
Is he to Owen?
Owen.
That's right. There you
Owen's
go.
up 67% to
The big O.
33%.
The big O.
So we'll see if he holds on to that. But yeah, I wouldn't fight the Shans. The Shans are well trained.
Yes.
They're
yes,
very
there are
smart.
A lot of New Zealanders.
They're
out there.
very loyal. There are a lot of New Zealanders. They are feisty. So if you want to fight Johnny, go ahead, guys.
There you go. Time and place. Time and place. All right. So let's get into it with where did the idea of a podcast first come? Right? Has this been something that's been like bubbling on? Like this is something like you were a kid, you're like, yo, one day I'm gonna be a YouTuber, I'm gonna be a podcast, or is this something that like came in like right before? What take me through that process.
When I was younger, I definitely always wanted to be a YouTuber. No, I wasn't sure about a podcast.
Did you have an inspiration?
I wasn't very. I mean, when
PewDiePie
I was
or
in
something
middle, not PewDiePie. I didn't watch PewDiePie. When I was in middle school, I had a trick shot YouTube channel, which we
Okay.
don't talk about. Actually, I'll link to it. I don't care. There's some embarrassing stuff on there, but it's fine. I did that with some of my middle school friends, and I mean, we were pretty popular with it,
Right.
the middle school.
Right.
So that was fun. And then once I first got to Oki, I'm like, this is a perfect time to start a
Right.
YouTube channel because, like, a kid living in Japan, overseas, he's gonna have so many stories to share. That's gonna be good content.
Don't you have a video of like freaking you going to a Japanese school and y'all like doing the dances? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
all sorts of stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Exactly.
Check that out. Yeah.
And I always thought that would be a lot of fun, but it just never really materialized for two reasons. One, I was not talented at all, technology-wise and YouTube-wise and video editing. And then also, like, I wasn't very good at being an entertainer. I wasn't funny. I still don't think I'm as funny as I probably, I think I'm funny, but in reality, I'm probably not as funny as I think. So it takes some self-awareness for that, definitely. But in terms of the podcast itself, I started listening to podcasts now, like the year before I started.
Okay.
So what was that? 2018, 2019?
Yeah. What, when you moved away from Oki?
Yeah, when I moved away from Oki, I started listening to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast, Sixers podcast. Love the Sixers. I became very invested in the Sixers. And I just love the concept of being able to talk. And it was so easy to set up, too. Podcasts are really easy. Anyone can make a podcast, but my advice, do not make a podcast.
Do not make a podcast. Well, what the heck? That was like a last one. Okay.
Do not make a podcast.
Well, we can go into the details of that later, but okay, got you. And then, what was the original goal of the show? Obviously, military kids. That's a big part of it. Has that always been the thing? Has it changed, or do you feel like you've succeeded in that, or like what's going on with that?
Well, I knew long term, in order to have success, I need to be coming from a good place. Like, I need to be doing it for the right reasons. So of course I did some research to some other people when they started their podcast. And it's always like, do it for the right reasons, do it for the right reasons. That's how you grow. If you're doing it for the right reasons, then you'll see success because people will recognize that.
Right.
So that was like, obviously the first like 10 episodes of the Shanon Show is really just me screwing around with all baseball guys. And that was a lot of fun. I thought there was a lot of material there because I had so many fun stories, but there's only so many of those.
Right.
They're very finite. And as fun as those were, I realized that I had to start really getting into not only becoming better content creator because I have to talk and actually create conversation, not just share stories, which is
because
very
it's different from guest to guest, right?
Way
There's
different.
some people like that are just open about it, and there's some like, yo, what the heck,
Well, there's also a difference between storytelling and conversation.
Right.
Big difference. And being able to
stage and not stage, right?
Right. Well, not necessarily stage, but being able to hold a conversation with someone you don't know, that takes a lot more skill than I thought it did. Because I was really bad at it. If you go look at like the teens and the 20s, particularly the 20s, I started having some other people on the show.
Right.
And whenever you have to just kind of create that organic conversation, it takes a lot of talent. So I listen to like anytime I'm watching like TV shows, not TV, but like talk shows like Conan or something like that, or other podcasts, I pay so much more attention now to the way they talk and the way they, the format of the conversation and the way they pose questions. There's certain questions that lead to answers, or certain questions that kind of like, limit your conversation.
So how do you get into? Do you have like a pregame? Like, how do you get into the mindset of talking to somebody, especially that if you don't know them before and you don't have that like that history?
If I don't know them before, I definitely need to. It's kind of called mental reps.
Yeah, okay.
Like almost talking to yourself.
Right.
Like there's like little bits that you want to get in. Like there's definitely parts of the conversation.
You go in a mirror and
like sometimes. I swear to God, I will.
Okay.
And that'll be because there's certain points that you need to get to because those will lead to the most interesting conversation.
Right.
So you need to address those. You need to find a way to get it. It's like it's like in basketball. You need to get your spots on the floor.
Naturally, yeah.
Like that's your spot.
You need to see the ball go into the hoop.
You want to see that, and you also want to get to your spots. I mean, Tobias Harris always talks about it. He's like, I have my spots on the floor I like to get to, and then I can hit my shots from there. So I need to get to my spots where I can get into a groove, and that works best.
Okay.
If you don't get into your spots and you just kind of let it free flow, like sometimes people are like, I got to raw dog my podcast.
Right,
it's completely organic. Nothing's gonna be planned. Right. Doesn't work too well.
Some people can do it, but
yeah, I mean, you got to be really talented. Really, I thought I was gonna be one of those people. I thought I was really talented. I'm not. Yeah. I'm really not.
Well, hey, man, at least you were able to learn that through trial and error, right?
Yeah. And I had to learn like how many questions is enough for a show. Like, because there's some shows where like I run out of questions 15 minutes in.
Right.
I'm like, what do I do? And I get like totally out of my comfort zone. So you also have to be able to improvise too. So there's a little bit of both. Makes it fun. Interesting.
Got you. And then what would you say is the best and worst parts of being a podcaster? And so someone that's thinking about starting it, they're like, obviously, you kind of spoiled it already. Just don't do it. But take me through that. Is it the technical stuff? Is it the scheduling, like what you've already talked about in terms of the improv? Like what are you talking about here?
The worst part by far is like having to because there's so many hats to go in a podcast show. Because usually like these things, like when you see them on TV, there's a lot of people working on the project together.
Right.
If you're doing this on your own, like you're booking the guest, you're editing, you're recording, you're script making, you're making your promos on Instagram.
Right,
yeah, it's a lot of stuff to do at once. So I think that's the worst part, is just getting overwhelmed. And I mean, I'm in a tough major in college right now. I'm doing aerospace engineering, which doesn't necessarily need to be addressed on the show. But that's a lot of stuff to always. I'm getting better at managing it, but it's still the same amount of work.
Okay.
It's still the same amount of stuff I have to do. And the best part is anytime someone tells me they enjoy an episode or that they learned a lot from something, that's really what makes it worth it.
Like the time when freaking you were with, what was her name? The girl that's trying to become a Dodea teacher?
Camden.
Yeah, and then you had the comment of the one person who was like, yo, like this is really
great.
helpful.
Yeah.
That must have felt really good.
Yeah, honestly. And then there was another one on the Director Brady episode, another guy who was trying to become a teacher who saw that. And I mean, they're like here and there, but it really does just make a huge difference.
Right,
I'm like, you know what?
Right.
There's a reason for this. And I know that like only amount of people will comment if they enjoy it. So I mean, I'm like, okay, there's probably other people like him. It's the inspiration to kind of kick me in the butt and keep on going.
Right.
And also, there's like times where it's just like ups and downs. Almost like a relationship.
Something like
you
that.
go through the good times, you go through the bad times. Sometimes I wake up, I'm really motivated. I'm like, this guy. I want to get them all on the show. I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be so productive today. And other days, I'm just like, what if I just didn't do this anymore? What if I just quit right now? There's some mornings like that where there's no one booked and you have an episode you want to put out on Sunday and you're like, hey Johnny, you free? Hey Johnny,
hey, 6 times in a year, let's do it, right?
Let's get another one on.
There you go. So kind of backing off of that. Obviously.
By the way, you're doing a great job with the questions because I know this is a tough job.
Well, I mean, if you guys,
role reversal.
If you saw the freaking trial, like I can do a little something, which kind of going into that, right? How you're saying you're doing everything by yourself. Yeah. Right, and how that's so much work, and then that kind of my last question here is what does the future look like? So does that mean is this something like you're looking for a co-host, you're looking for people that can help, or what is the future of the Shan Show hold?
Well, first of all, I said I do everything by myself. I mean, you have been a huge part of this, like just being like just running things by you. Yep. Usually you're a pretty positive guy.
I try.
You're a yes man a little bit. I have to say that everything I said, you're like great. I'm like, it's phenomenal. It's great. Yeah. So I mean, your support, and like anytime I talk about the stats or the analytics, you're like you're into it, like you're interested in the growth. I mean, I think
I still need to see those, by the way.
I'll pull them up for you. We can put them on the big screen. Or something like that. What was the question?
Future of the Shan Show.
Future of the Shan Show. Yes, I want. I don't want to like say anything to not follow through. I'm a little scared. But I want to keep on making episodes. Obviously, Shan Show's not going anywhere. Honestly, I know that's what I'm planning. At least I'm going home soon.
Yep.
It's always easier recording podcasts at home instead of my dorm room.
Yeah.
Dude, the dorm room setups are tough, man. Like you guys don't appreciate.
Hey man, first episode in this closet, bro. Like
now we're in the actual podcast studio.
Look at this, man. I wish you guys could see this. It's crazy.
It is pretty cool. I don't know. I wanted to do my own podcast network, possibly. I'm not sure if I should be saying that. But I mean, if anyone out there is interested in being a podcast host, just let me know, because I love talking to other people who are, 100%. Talented. If not talented, just committed. Because it does take a lot of commitment. I mean, I've had some people tell me, I want to start my own podcast, and they start doing their own podcast. They're like, I don't want to start my own podcast.
Okay.
So there's a big difference between having the idea and then like doing it week after week. Gotcha. So that's another thing. If you're starting a podcast, understand the commitment.
Okay, got you. Well, that's all I have for you, man.
There you go. There you go, guys. Hopefully that was able to help you guys.
But are we going in top 10? Is that what we're doing?
Let's do Shan Show top 10 all the time. So in the spirit of the Shammy Awards coming up, which Johnny will be there for that. I think Sammy will be back. I know a lot of people like Sammy on the Shammy's last year. I did as well as I did. Shammy's gonna be a lot of fun.
Brett Brown?
Maybe Brett Brown. You should take it. That was supposed to be a surprise. That's always like a little surprise. Oh my God, relax. But Johnny and I, we have a whole year and change of Shan Show episodes behind us. Hopefully we're going to have a lot more great ones ahead of us.
61, 62?
61, this will be 62.
Yeah,
so we're going to rank our top 10 episodes of The Shanon Show all time. All time from us. This doesn't mean the number one's going to get best episode. Doesn't mean it's going to get best guest. It's just from our perspective, people who've been closest to the podcast more than anyone, what we think is going to be, our favorite.
The episodes that have been the most influential, right? That brought in different kind of people and all that kind of stuff as well,
All right.
And if you don't make it, don't take it personally, for sure.
Yeah, you just suck.
Okay.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Go ahead, my first.
Go number 10.
Number 10, and I don't want to talk all about me, but I got to be the first one.
You're going to put yours
I'm
number 10?
My first one in number 10.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it started. And again, when we talked about before, I think when in my boot camp episode, we didn't expect anything.
No.
We were literally like, no one's going to watch this, right?
Yeah.
And then boom, there it goes, and that kind of springboard. And you were just telling me when we were coming over here, how many people were like, yo, that was really cool. We really like what you're doing, and how it's kind of really brought together, I'd say more the Kubi community, you know, in that kind of way.
100%.
You know, and I've talked to people before. Every time now that I talk to people from Kubi, it's like Shammy Show, yo.
Yeah.
Like that is like a talking point. Like I'm not even just making that up. Like that's one of the first things I'll talk about. So I think that's such a cool thing. There's so many communities, especially the military communities, that just don't get that.
Yeah.
Because of how transient it is. So I really appreciate you doing it.
I think the Shanon Show, it is very, like, it's a small community, so at least,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like 200 something
There you
subs
go, there
and
you go.
followers. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a big community, but I think it is cool that something, I don't know, like kind of made that's like for that Kubi kids. It's small group, but it is there. And I think people do understand what it is and appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
So, you know, it's nothing crazy, but it's just something we all can come back to. And I love talking to people from Kubi.
Oh, yeah.
It's always great conversation.
100%.
So, you know what? That's great. I like your original episode. That's my top 10, but not quite yet.
Not quite. Okay. Give me your 10. Give me 10.
Number 10, I'm going to go with the original Shammy Awards
Shammy
show.
Awards. Okay. Yep. Got
Shammy
you on
Awards
there.
show.
Yep.
And the reason why is not because it's like a particularly interesting interview, because I just interviewed Sammy like earlier that year, not too long ago.
Right.
Or not because Brett Brown was particularly great, or we had a snail race in there too, which was a little interesting. It was just like the idea that I've done 19 episodes. Let's have an award show.
There you go.
Let's have an award show.
We got enough content.
Yeah,
at this point,
exactly.
right?
This is great. This is enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to copyright the Grammys. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. I'm going to make an ugly ass logo. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It was the whole thing, man.
It was a whole thing.
I'm
I made the special intro video that was tacky as hell, but it worked. I liked it.
It did.
And just like that ambition was kind of what the show was built on. And I think it was really embodied in the Shammy Awards. And Sammy, you know, totally took it on full on with the hat and everything. And really appreciate Sammy for, you know, taking that on with me.
That's really cool. And I mean, we're in that season again now.
Yes.
We said the annual
This
Shammy's,
time
yo,
of the year.
second time.
Second
man.
annual.
That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be really cool.
Give me number 9, Johnny.
All right, number 9. This is kind of a hot take, and this is a thing that's been between us two. But it is the World War II veteran episode.
There you go.
Mr.
That's
What
some
is
respect.
Alan
Dale Olson.
Alan Dale Olson.
Doctor.
That was really interesting for me. I'm a big history guy. If you guys don't know that, and to see someone that has seen so many big events in American history or just the world history, and to see his perspective on it, I think that's so cool.
I was so nervous for that, man.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch, like, I am just, like, I told him that I didn't want it to be scripted, and then, like, 10 minutes before the show, I'm like, I need notes, bro. I need notes. I was so scared. And it does feel very scripted, but he is just so articulate. I remember before I watched the show, he does a few podcasts with Museum of the American Military Family, just like storytelling.
Yeah.
And he recalls everything so distinctly. Like, everything is so beautiful.
For his age, that's
exactly.
incredible,
For, like, the vision he has and, like, how he can portray that with words. It's just, like, it takes me back.
100%,
Seriously. So whenever I was listening to some of those, I was like, wow, I really want to talk to this guy. And he's fantastic. Only great things.
Severely underrated episode.
Very underrated.
Please go watch that.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
bump
really
up the
good.
views. All right,
Honestly,
like come
just
on,
like
man.
the age difference, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had someone like not from Kubi, other than Dr. Seriously Olson Weston, which is her dad, which is
Oh really?
you know,
Okay,
great.
no, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I would love to. I mean, he came back for the 75th anniversary of Dodea because he worked with Dodea. He's just done a lot of great stuff for Dodea and with the museum. He put together the anthology recently filled with Dodea stories. I have a story in there. If you guys want to go check it out, it was about finding a coffee cup in Tokyo and running back to my hotel room. Johnny was there for
Yes,
that.
sir.
So I wrote that story, submitted it, and he emailed me one day. He's like, "Hope you still have that coffee cup." I was like,
That's
he's
awesome,
just a
man.
funny guy. He's got a great sense of humor. I remember after I was asking him some questions, he's a big baseball guy.
Okay.
He was like, "You didn't ask me about the Cubs
Hey,
winning the
that's
World
right,
Series
yeah,
after
the
100
clip,
years."
yes.
I was like, "Ah." No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's just someone, great guy.
Yep. Okay.
My number 9.
Mm.
Shoot, man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Connor and Martin,
Okay.
number 2.
There you go. Are both of them
So
gone
this
now?
is pretty recent. They're both gone.
They're both gone. So they
I'm
won't-
not sure if
well-
anyone's on their phone, but
Yeah.
Connor is actually sending out emails right now from Palau, or I think he is.
Yep.
He's sending some really cool pictures and
Right.
stuff. I mean, that episode was just so much fun.
Mm.
Mostly because, like, I have no idea what Martin's going to say next.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
a loose cannon, bro. He's just saying whatever. And Connor is, like, so, like, respectful. He's, like, really professional. And then I say something about, something. He's like,
Yeah, go see that, bro. Out of context, freaking videos. Check those out.
Dude,
Those
those
that's
are
it's in
fun.
there.
Those
Those
are
are
fun.
fun too. Third one coming?
Yeah, I'll make a third
There was
one
no
soon.
coming.
There's some really good
Yeah,
stuff
we'll
in
gotta get that
some
trilogy
recent
in.
episodes that we'll get in there.
For sure.
Yeah, Connor, they're just both really good at speaking and love having them on the show. So I'll put that at number 9.
Yep. 100%. My 8 is Shammy's as well. And we've
there
already
you go.
talked that. So there's gonna be a lot of overlap probably in both of our things. I mean, we have a very similar. We talk about pretty much every episode. I think we're always saying something about it. So we probably have a lot of overlap. So we don't have to talk too much about that. But that Shammy's is my number 8.
Gotcha. On my number 8, I'm going to go with, Kenna Wells.
Kenna Wells.
Kenna
Oh,
Wells.
okay, we
Now,
got a lot of
this
time.
one-
Okay. Here we
this
go.
one
Which
was-
one? The first one?
First one.
It's got to be the first one, right?
First one.
Yep.
And now this one was strange because I remember it was my first time back in my dorm room for my second semester of freshman year. And I'm recording. I have this like big light behind me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
right from the window. It doesn't look good. I have the TV with my logo. It doesn't look so professional. It's gonna be great. And Kenna, oh my God, she was just fantastic, man.
That was over like an hour,
She
right?
was
I was like,
so
ah.
good.
Yeah.
She was so good, and that's why like that was like kind of like a click for me, not because of the views it got later on. That took a little bit, by the way. It took a while for that to happen. I didn't get those views right away.
Yeah.
But it was just a click. Like I can make podcasts over an hour long. I can hold the conversation, and my guests can be really interesting, and people will want to watch it.
Right.
Because I mean, like a few episodes before that, I had Downey on the show.
Yeah.
And like that was the
What are you trying
content.
to say? What are you trying to say?
I'll say exactly what I wanted. It sucked. And I was like, that was the content I was putting out.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that, she was so great, and that really inspired me to just like keep going and find more guests like her. So I mean, so much appreciation for Kenna. She was so great at speaking. I had her on not too long after that. And obviously the clip with the New Zealanders.
Something like that. What was it
blew
like
up.
New Zealand? If you just take the New Zealand, that's like half of your entire views, right?
exactly,
Yeah, something like
exactly.
that. But that's not what it's all about. It's
I
cool
am.
that you were able to reach out to a completely different community. But again, if we
Dude.
talked about that
Yeah.
like before the first episode, we know New Zealanders. What the heck? Like that's not gonna happen.
That's true.
But that was
We
so
would get
cool.
raided
Yeah.
by New Zealanders on the clip. And it's just
New Zealand doesn't
it's like
exist,
we
right?
like
That really
I
got
took it and ran. I really did. I
Yeah.
really liked it. And I remember telling you, like, if I just made my podcast a New Zealand hate podcast, we'd be famous by
Right?
now. That's not what this is about, obviously.
No.
But yeah, much appreciation for Kenna. Got me a ton of views. It doesn't translate to necessarily long-term subscribers, I would say, the New Zealanders.
Yeah.
But some of them were nice people. Loved it.
Okay. For my number 7, we
yeah.
have, and we talked about this again on the walkover, the first non-Kubi guest. It's Brett Brown.
Number 7?
Number
Oh
7,
my
Brett
God.
Brown, NBA coach Brett Brown. Tell me how you got him on the show, man. Who's cutting that out?
Episode number, what was it, 3 or 4?
4.
4. Man, I just wanted to go big or go home. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for the chance. I
Right.
sent an email to his agent,
Yeah.
and I worked out. I got really
It was
lucky.
very
I took my
relevant at the
podcast.
time as well.
It was really relevant because they just got swept by the Celtics and got fired the day I posted
the
it.
day he posted it.
So it
Wow.
was a little
That was
complicated.
incredible. Yeah,
great
yeah,
timing.
yeah.
He was a great guy, great guest. He came back for the Shammys, and he's a friend of the podcast. You might see him again soon. Who knows?
There you go.
I cannot believe that's number 7.
Go.
It's so short, but just like perfect.
Yeah.
It's just like I have to rewatch that again actually because I don't remember the conversation. I'm just like trying not to laugh the whole time. The things he's saying about Simmons and Embiid. He goes one point they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly. Joel and Ben. It's very funny now because Ben is not peanut butter or jelly.
Yeah,
He's
not
on the
anymore.
outside of the sandwich.
Right.
But some Sixers talk. Why
There you
not?
go.
I got some
Yeah.
people who messaged me like, "Yo, no way." I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Gotta do what you gotta do. What's your
Shoot,
7?
bro. Give me J-Hop 1.
J-Hop 1, okay. Yep, which we talked
Number
about
1
before.
episode.
Yep.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Like you said, no expectations. It did very well the first few days. Really exciting in my not my dorm room, in my bedroom closet. I had the setup. I had the GoPro camera. Like those were days because I didn't know what I was doing, and it worked out.
Yeah.
The fact that
And sometimes you look back on it, like that was amazing.
that was
so
great.
crazy
I
that
think
even worked.
there's the nostalgia factor. The stories we shared were just great. I mean, you could if you shared those stories for episode number 70, it'd be
Yeah.
a great episode,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just like that content is really funny, and we edited it together. And that podcast is not like our initial vision versus what it came out to be. I'm glad it is what it is.
Yeah.
'Cause the initial vision was a little scattered. We had some top 10 rankings in there, but love it, man. Appreciate it. I mean, anytime I go to the idea with, I want to start a podcast. You want to be the first guest? Like,
Let's do it.
and you're on board.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
that was amazing. That was such an honor to be that, man. And now to see how much it's grown, man. And
So much.
so good.
We probably thought it was gonna be like 1K by now,
Right,
but it's cool.
right,
It's cool.
right. It's all good. It's all good. So that's 7 for you, right? So number 6, I have, and I think it's on yours too. Panel Preposterous number 2.
Number 2.
And specifically because of the splat clip. So if you don't know what we're talking about, if you go on Instagram, one of his, is it on the Reels? Is that where it is?
It's on Reels.
It's on Reels. And the question, well, you have to, the question was, what would you rather? Right? Is that what it is? Or you'll have to go back. I don't really remember what it was.
It was, would you rather every time you see a kid, you have to splash water in their face, or you tell them that Santa's not real?
Right.
It's a tough question.
Yes, very
Actually, tough question.
Very
And that's what Panel Preposterous is all about. Go watch them. We have a playlist on the channel.
Three of them.
There's 3 of them.
Trilogy.
A trilogy.
Yep. Yep.
They're a lot of fun. The people on there are just like fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
Oh,
could not
yeah.
have picked a better group with the Gillans and Jared and Garrett. Those are really just some great people doing those, and they carried the episodes. That's not me, man.
100%.
That's not me.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah.
15 minutes of just banana thoughts.
Yeah,
Like,
Jared is just like, I'm in the alleyway, I see a 3-year-old splat. And I'm like, what's a 3-year-old doing in the alleyway? He's like, I don't know, I'm not 3. I'm like,
and then there's like 5,000 people that watch it. We're like, whoa, this is gonna blow up, and
Yeah, and then I never made any more reels because I'm not really committed to the fame, I guess.
No, that was a lot of fun though. I love those. Every time one comes out, I was like, gotta click on it, gotta watch the whole thing.
Dude, they're fun. They're fun. They make for great clips too, out of contests especially. Shoot, I'm just gonna put panel 2.
Okay. Yep.
Right in the same spot.
Mine's 6. Okay.
You say 6, right?
Easy
So
money.
1, 2,
Yep,
3, 4,
that's
5.
6. Yep. So.
Wait, am I confused?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Number 5. We're in the top 5. We're in.
This is the top 5.
This is the top.
This is the top
5. Our
5.
top 5 for Shanon Show episodes ever. Number 5 for me. Episode 8. Sammy Williams.
Sammy Williamson, number 5.
That was, I'm telling you, to this day, it was right before boot camp, right? So I was like, all right, come on, let me get some good content in here. And dude, I've never laughed. Like, okay, I probably I'm not gonna spoil it. There's one other episode that I think I've laughed more at now, and I think we both know which one that is. But no, Sammy's episode was absolutely hilarious. He's an incredible guy. And see, I love seeing him back every time. He always brings just a different, different feel to it.
It helps that he's intoxicated every
Something
time he
like that, right?
joins the show every time. Sammy, he's great, man. I nothing but good things. I know he's not like super big into podcasts or anything. I don't talk to him all the time. But every time he comes on the show, he delivers. Like you said, he definitely delivers.
Yeah.
My number 5, I'm gonna go with Mr. Tom Brady joins the Shannon Show.
Okay. Number 5.
Number 5.
Okay. Just now, is this in terms of just the episode itself, in terms of what the episode meant?
Well, it's all of that combined.
All of it combined.
All of the episode quality, what it meant to the show, everything.
Yep.
I mean, where do I even start with this? The fact
Episode
we got the
50.
director of the day. Well, first of all, I have to disclaimer. I cannot take all the credit for getting him on the show. A lot of this was Miss Dr. Cersei Olsen-Weston with the museum, who has just been so gracious. And she comes to me, right? She sends me a message. She's like, hey, I got Mr. Frank O'Gara. He was a former communications director, public affairs, something like that. I just butchered his position. My bad. He was great, Mr. Frank O'Gara. He's been fantastic. She's like, is there anyone within the Dodea hierarchy that you might be interested in interviewing? Because if I get you an interview. And I'm like, I don't know, I'll take a look. I look at the list of names. I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
Let's just go for the top,
So
right?
I said, how about the director? And she's like,
She said, wait a second. Baby steps here, baby
she's
steps.
like, oh my, I just imagine, like, she's like, oh, this guy, man. So she's like, okay. And she asked, and it worked. Like, the fact that he said yes to come on the Shan Show, and it was also done at the museum. So it was probably much more of her, I don't call her savvy. That kind of got
we were talking about it too, like freaking whoever his secretary is probably had to go through the Shan Show episodes, and we're talking about we gotta hide some of those episodes. There's no way.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And Mr. Brady, he was fantastic, man. I mean, you would think like a guy so high up, works at the Pentagon, coming onto my little podcast, like he might think he's too good for it or anything, but he showed during that episode, and it made me feel a lot better that he was in charge. He really puts the kids first. He made that very clear throughout the entire thing. And I know that, the results don't always equal his intent. I think you can see that if you go to a Dodea school. But the fact that my favorite part is whenever he shared that he gets lunch every time he visits the school with some of the student leaders, and he gets lunch with them in the cafeteria.
That was really
I just thought that was so cool because that's what a leader does. That's what leadership's about, is like connecting with the kids who you work for and putting them first.
Is he in DC or where's he headquartered out of?
So he's in DC. Right.
So that's so cool because someone up top, like you said, could just chill. Like he's getting paid the big bucks and he can just chill. But no, he goes out every year to all these like far flung out schools, all that. I'm sure
he visits them in person. He told me he tried to go to all of them in 1 year. And I think he almost got it or he did it. I have to go back and rewatch. But I mean, that is just incredible, man. And he was a great guest. He respected me, which I was like a little scared of. I was like, who is this guy? Sort of thing. So I really appreciated him, how he treated the show, and he understood what I did, and he appreciated what I did, and I also have a ton of appreciation for what he does. Because there's nothing like Dodea. Some of the best experiences, the best experience of my life have come from the Dodea school system. So
100%.
Thank you, Mr. Brady.
100%. There you go. Okay, so that was number 5 for you, correct?
Yeah, and that's a shocker too. Big surprise. You wouldn't see that coming. I try to keep that low key. I remember. Do you believe it when I first told you?
I was like, "There's no way. There's no way." The director of Dodea, like this baby steps here, increments. She said, "Nah, let's go for the top, right?"
Over the top.
Craziness. Okay, number 4. I have, and I wish if I would have been there, things could have been so different. It's the trial. The trial of George.
This is my sister's favorite episode.
Is it?
Actually.
Is it really?
She talks about this often.
Episode 14, man. It was. again, that was one of the times. I'm sure. Again, I wasn't there to kind of see how that whole process worked. But that was the most people you'd ever had in an episode at one time at that point, correct?
Right. So it was ambitious because anytime you have a lot of people on a podcast, it's like you got talking over each other.
Right.
So there needed to be structure. I was like, well, perfect. We'll make it a courtroom.
Well, not only that, in terms of scheduling it, like if we're all in Okie, but no, we got people all over the planet. Like, how do you do this, bro? It's crazy.
So what I do is I pull up my time zone converter.
Yep.
And I go, this time for you, this time for you, this time for you, and I send out the invites. And I'm like, I'm like a week beforehand. I'm like, hey, remember this coming up next week? And then an hour beforehand, I'm like, hey, it's coming up in an hour.
Right.
And I know it's perfect because it's George too.
Right.
We all knew he was a dog, and it was just like one of those debates we've had for a while. So it was kind of fun to settle it on the podcast. Yeah. And like I said, ambitious, man. Yeah. Ambitious. That's what the show was kind of built on. That's where our best moments are around, is having a trial on the show. Yeah. And it worked out really well.
It did. That was a lot of fun.
It was a shame you couldn't have been there. I knew you've been proud of that content.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That was the first thing I watched. Like I said in my boot camp episode, I didn't even call my mom. Right? I was like, okay, Shanon Show, what's going on? Trial of George Glover, gotta watch it in boot camp. The eyes right there.
I am an asshole during that episode too. Like, I am cold-hearted. I took the position. It's different when you had to do it too, because you had to be the judge, and you were definitely biased against me during that. But we don't have to get into that. A little bit. But I was just kind of like, it's weird, like, try not to be biased. It's also like, hey, George, you did that. You're going to have a jerk for that. It's a weird position to be in. It's more than just being a podcast. It was fun.
Yeah. So that's my number 4. What you got?
Number 4, I'm going to go panel 1.
Panel 1? Okay, so you got 2 panels in the top 10.
Yeah, I got 2 panels in the top 10. I'm going to go Panel Preposterous number 1.
There you go.
And I have it above 2. I have it pretty high up because, once again, just ambitious. Anytime, like, it's really hard coming up with like new stuff. But this was new. I haven't seen anyone do this before. And the name of it is a mouthful. It's very annoying to type. Nobody likes the name. You can't Google for it easily. And it's anytime you have these new ideas and you have to pitch it to people, like, I have so much appreciation whenever they hear my pitch and they're like, yeah, I'll do that. Like, I trust your vision. So I really appreciate everyone who has been a part of the panel. I already mentioned them. We talked about this for panel 2. But I mean, the banana thoughts, the Dorito fingers.
Was that the first one?
This is number 1.
That's the first one. Yep. The OG, right? New
Dude, so much fun. And it turned out to be even better than I could have imagined, because that could have flunked and then I'd never make 2 more. Right. But dude. Yeah, I really like panel 1. I have fond memories of that. And the thumbnail for it sucks. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna change it. It's classic. It's like Times New Roman.
There you go. For number 3, I think these last couple ones.
Are they interchangeable?
Again, there's interchangeable. We've probably talked to them, but for number 3 for me is, again, Canada's New Zealand, and I know it's number up there.
3.
And again, this is more because I don't know how I really did this top 10, because it wasn't just about the content of the actual episode. It's also what the episode means.
Absolutely.
I think that definitely took a big, and you'll see it in my other 2, how much that, and then just the whole fact that, like I said, half of your views are from New Zealand, right? And how big that was, and how that was the first point where I was like, yo, we are reaching people. This is something else.
That's the only time the algorithm has worked in our favor.
Right. So that was really cool. So that's why it's in the 3 we've already talked about a lot. So that's Canada's New Zealand is number 3 for me, just for what it means to the show.
So I got my top 3 here. I just don't know which one to put where.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Sammy's. We already talked about Sammy's episode. I go Sammy's 3.
Okay. Yep.
Not much more needs to be said. It's a top 3 episode in my opinion.
Very funny.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, Lil Whitey. And the format of that was Judgment Day.
Right.
That was the format. So once again, just anytime I come up with something new, I'm really proud of that. Like, I came up with it and it worked, because I come up with plenty of bad stuff, guys. I come up with a lot of bad ideas. You can ask Johnny. I come up with a lot of stuff and I'm like,
the deleted scenes are
never mind. I tried. But the Judgment Day and just going through people, I mean, it's just straight gossip. For like 100%. An hour. Just gossip. And there's deleted scenes from that are somewhere on my computer. Those will be great one day. But just bringing up people by name, just didn't care. We were just ruthless, man. And that was, I don't even know what to say, man. It was a lot of
fun. And again, kind of going on with that theme of what the episode meant, I got Director of the Day at number 2.
Yeah, man.
Again, just because of how big that was. For the 50th episode coming straight out of nowhere, didn't even believe we were going to do it.
That was right around the 1-year anniversary, too. It was just pretty good timing.
It all kind of came together, man. So that's my number 2.
Dude, I'm going to go Trial of George Glover, number 2.
George 2, okay.
Do we have the same? Oh, no, I know what your 1 is. Damn.
I
know what your 1 is. All right. Charles George Glover, number 2. I already talked about it. My sister's favorite episode, one of my favorites. Actually, my second favorite by the list. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You know what number 1. This Trial of Shannon Hyde. Yes, sir. That is my number 1. I'm telling you, just being a part of that, and y'all only got like a little picture of it. For those that came in live, you know what
you saw the premiere, bro.
Yeah. Oh my god. one of the funniest things I've ever been a part of. It was, and again, I know maybe I was a little biased. I tried, bro. 12 to 11. It was so close. It was so close. Okay, but I think the overall Sky, that was just the one. She was the one that flipped that 100%. So I'm sorry that you're not part of that group, but I had to, be a man of the people in that case. But
part of what comes with that is I was picking people for my own demise, really. Like, I was picking these people, I knew they had bad things to say about me. I kind of decided, what, they say, bite the bullet?
Yeah. Well, the gents just didn't come in clutch again.
I mean, yeah, that was Isaac. Yeah, First of all, Isaac, I have a special award for you at the Shammy's, Isaac. You're gonna like it. It's great.
Yeah.
Isaac just not coming through. For me, Cruz didn't come through. Love Cruz. We're gonna get him on the pod eventually. We're gonna figure that out. He's kind of avoiding the podcast or something. I don't know what's going on there. But the trial, man. I put in. I'll say this because obviously being a part of it and knowing how poorly it went for me, and just like everything
with
could go
hindsight
wrong went wrong. But I still had to be like, I gotta promote it. I gotta put in the effort. I can't.
You didn't promote it. Like on Instagram, you had at least like 5 posts about it.
I did the whole week. I took an extra week off so I could promote it because I was like, well, this is still a big podcast. There's big names in it. It's gonna do well if I put the effort in. And it could have been really easy for me to just be like, I'm not gonna post it. I'm not gonna post it. I did end up putting an edited version. I hope you guys understand why. If you went to the premiere, you know why. I gotta save my reputation just a little bit. I don't know. It is tough because they are like people I consider to be my best friends.
Right.
I guess that's part of it. I guess that's part of it. You and your best friends don't only have nice things to say about each other. Whatever, bro. Whatever. My number one.
What's your number
My number one is the return of Jonny Hoppe.
There's no way. That's number one?
Dude, I tell you what, I've never felt like I was more at home in the podcast.
Really?
Like more, this is what it's about than whenever you came back.
Wow.
Because I was going through that stage where you were in boot camp.
Right.
And I was doing these by myself, bro. And they were bad. Some of them were bad. I don't say not all of them. Not all of them. I mean, while you were gone, we had Angelino, we had the trial, we had, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think Andrews came out like right after you left, so that's a good episode too. There were some highs in there.
Sure.
Whenever you came back, it was kind of like what I was waiting for. I was like, damn, bro, finally we can get this episode done.
Right.
And that kind of sparked the boot camp episode category.
Right.
Which is huge, and I love it. I love it because I was hearing these stories from you, and just hearing the stories, like you were so enthusiastic about. I knew you'd be like writing them down. You had so much to have. You had a lot of fire to the table, and you're talking really fast. I had a lot of people tell me, that was great. I mean, I remember Owen telling me he was talking so fast. So, yeah, I know.
Well, we also because I had formation every 2 hours. So
I know.
Like,
so you're like doing it in pieces.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's not the sexiest episode.
No,
it's not like I didn't do a ton of promos or anything. It doesn't even mean that much return of views long term. Views long term, not that big.
Right.
Compared to say, New Zealanders. But yeah, man, that one just means a lot to me. Okay. Just the return of J Hop, the boot camp chronicles, and then doing boot camp episodes after that.
Kind of like a revival after that, in a way.
It's just like how you keep on doing that with Kayla and George, and those are some honorable mentions for me. Why can I not talk anymore? Yeah, George Glover's, Kayla's. 2 hours. Yeah, did a little bit of that. Sky had a little bit of boot camp in there. Those are all really fun because it makes for great content because people want to hear about that. Because a lot of people who are military kids, guess what they want to do? Join the military.
Yeah, and I think Nick, that helped him a lot too. When he watched mine, he watched George before he left. Where's he? Is he still out? Do you know?
He's still out, yeah.
Okay.
So he'll be back soon, and then there we got another one, 100%. That'll be a lot of fun. 100%. And I think it is, those are the ones that I'm like, this clearly helps people. Yeah. And that's always a cool thing. Whenever I'm making content that I know is helpful. Right. And not content I'm like, will people watch this?
Right.
Or will people like this? I still don't know if people are going to watch it, but will people like this?
Yeah.
But there it is, man.
Okay. That is the
top 10. We'll do this a year from now.
Yep. 100%.
And then we'll see how the list looks.
Yeah. We'll see how many others still in here.
What do we got here? We get a little Shammy Predictions?
Shammy Predictions, okay. Yep. You know all the topics on top of your head, right?
Yes. Okay. So the categories are, or the votable categories. I'll say we got the best boot camp episode. I'm not sure if you're going to be humble about it, but what do you think in terms of, have you watched all the boot camp episodes?
So there's mine, there's George's, there's Kayla's, and technically Sky's.
Sky's, yeah.
Is that the 4?
It's like Sky's is like half boot camp, so I put it in there just because.
I voted for this already. I personally put George's on there.
It's a good one.
Yeah, because again, like he was saying with mine, I just kind of rushed through it. Right, because of all the things that were going on.
Much different perspective.
Yeah, you asked questions, I was like, nope, going on, continuing. Where George was really in depth, right? Yeah. If you really want to know what boot camp is about, and all the intricate details, go watch that one. It's for Marine Corps.
It's a movie.
It is a whole movie. 2 hours. Yeah, over 2 hours. I love that. And
we did it in 2 parts as well.
Yeah, that's my vote, 100%.
Yeah, those are great. I mean, if you're an audio only listener, the boot camp ones are just great. Just to kind of like take them in. They're very very visual podcast, very descriptive, especially George, man.
Oh,
He
yeah.
took me through everything.
Yep.
And I remember at some points I'd like try to rush him. I'm like, all right, let's get to the next part. He's like, wait, I got a story.
I got more to say.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
And, you know, George, he's one of those guys. He's a great guy, by the way. He kind of did me dirty in the trial, but that was his job. I did him dirty in his trial, so
There
he
you
brought me
go,
down with
there
him
you
just
go.
like he said he would. He's very descriptive, and he loves the podcast. I think he does. I may have put words in his mouth, but he does appreciate what I do, and he was a great guest. What would I say?
You was. Yep. Would you say that's your pick as well? I mean, obviously, I know you already know.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff,
I'm
but-
not gonna say. I mean,
Okay.
That's boot camp episode. Obviously, yours is my favorite ever, so I'd pick yours. But
appreciate that.
next one is the best content creator.
Okay.
So you got Avery Gannon, who came on the show. She was a
Right.
military brat podcaster.
Is she still going on, or is she still kind of dead now?
No, she's kind of dead right now, but it's okay. Well, maybe I'll revive her.
Yeah.
Eric, who's doing some cool artwork stuff. I guess he's kind of the one. Dr. Allendale Olson, who's doing podcasts. He made a book.
Did he? Okay.
He did the anthology, like I
Yeah,
said. I
yeah.
consider him a full-on content creator.
Oh, yeah.
He's done a great thing. He founded a museum, bro. That's content.
That's big content.
I think he's a little overlooked in there.
Yeah,
And there's someone else in the category that's totally good.
Mia, right?
Mia.
That's right.
Who's a big YouTuber.
Yep.
She has, what, 10K subscribers?
Yep. Killing
That's a
it.
lot, man.
Killing
And
the
she
game.
came on the show. Mia was fantastic. I think she was a little nervous. I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
But, dude.
I gotta go. Again, I just got a soft spot for that World War II veteran, man.
Yeah, man.
I got a soft spot for him.
He makes
That's-
great. Out
that's
of the
my
content there, I'd pick Eric just because
Okay.
he's been a lot of hard work.
Right.
I mean, the World War II veterans content is fantastic, and he does a lot of cool stuff that maybe we don't appreciate right now because we're so young. We're not
Right.
history guys,
Right.
or
Right.
you are. I'm talking about other people. I
Yeah,
should say.
sure.
But yeah, there's nothing as cool as that. The fact that he founded a museum for military families with his daughter, like, dude, that's insane.
really
Like,
cool.
that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
There's no such thing, and no one is preserving our history like they are.
Right.
And I'm glad to be a part of that. I really am. You know, that's kind of what the podcast is. I think 10 years from now, you're gonna look back at these archives, and you're
Right.
like, that's kind of the story of military brats from like a
100%.
very small window.
100%. That's really cool. What's next?
Shoot, best group episode?
Best group? Okay.
I know you're gonna say trial.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
one of them.
there
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
got to be. What are the other ones? No, because the
There's
first
a
trial is
ton.
part of the last
Spooky
Shammy.
special. So the Shammy's cutoff is episode 20. Anything
20, okay.
after that, Shammy's episode. So it starts with Carolina's military guide.
Okay, from that to
College guide for military kids.
Right.
Which is a cool concept. Again.
yeah. I got
So there's a
that
lot
trial.
of group episodes.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
We
I like
will
the
talk about
spooky special. I like Max and Rial. That was fun
That was
in
cool.
person.
That was a fun one. Yep. First live one. Yep. Hopefully we can do more of that, man. I mean, how you thinking about that? Do you like that kind of you having someone
In person?
Here? Yeah.
Oh, this is way
help a lot?
better.
Yeah.
This is way
Yeah.
better.
100%.
It's just hard to get people to middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Right.
You know? So maybe in Florida I'll be around some more people. But
Yeah.
this is cool. And like this setup is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I can't
You
wait
know,
to
we
see like
did.
the different camera angles.
Oh
and all
yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm gonna try to make it like a movie. I mean, when am I gonna post this? Sunday, and it's Friday,
you
so
go,
it's
there
gonna be
you
quick
go.
turnaround. You know, I always find a way.
Yeah. There you go. But it's in that work. Y'all don't know the work.
Whatever. Most surprising guests: Brady, Sky, Eric. Was there another one? Dr. Allendale Olson, World War II veteran. A little surprising for people.
It's got to be the director of the video. There's no way. There's no way. The director
Sorry,
of
not
the
sorry,
day.
Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which again, we talked, so much about that already. But yeah, the fact that you were able to get him on, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Angelina won it last time, and I'd say those are. I'm not gonna say even.
That is.
But the fact that she was on the podcast, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was crazy for a lot of people. We hadn't heard from her in over like 2 years.
Yeah,
So I mean, I know director of today is like another level because
Yeah,
but I said nice things about him earlier, so it's okay. I can like kind of mock it. Yeah, put that up there. And then best episode, I guess we already did that.
Yep. We did it already.
There we go. So you voted. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to vote. I might put a vote in.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Go ahead.
I'm going to cut to. Well, we have the bracket, the best guest
Okay,
bracket. You already
okay.
told me your
Yeah.
prediction for
Yeah,
that. I forget
yeah.
who you said.
Freaking, it was between
Aiden. You said Aiden would win.
I did say Aiden.
You thought
Yep.
Aiden would win.
Yep.
So we're in the Sweet 16. I'm sure by Sunday we'll be 2 more rounds in.
Okay.
So we should be in the Elite Eight, hopefully.
There you go.
It takes a second to make them. But yeah, Johnny, this was a ton of fun,
It
man.
was, man. It's good to be back. It's good to be in person,
Yeah.
man. 13 months away.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm
Dude,
talking
yeah,
about.
you're free man.
Free man.
Look at him
Something
driving
like
all the way
that.
up to State College to see me and make a
Yes, sir.
podcast.
Yes, sir. So
Dude, and you'll be going off to Liberty.
that's the plan.
Liberty.
Okay, that's always the first thing that people always say whenever they hear that, bro. Yep. So if any of
Come
y'all
on.
are freaking in the Central Virginia area, just hit me up, yo.
Johnny does like to catch up with his own peeps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you're gonna be on the show again, whether you like it or not. We're just gonna keep on bringing you back.
Yeah, I guess
You like
so.
who's
I gotta get the 39% up a little bit next year. That's
cute. It's like Michael Jordan joining the Wizards, huh?
Right. Is that what it is? Dang it.
It's like LeBron making the team. He's got like old Dwight coming back. He's like past. No, you're not past your prime. You haven't aged a day on the podcast. It's a podcast. Like you don't get washed up from talking unless you get like bronchitis or smoke for 20 years. We don't smoke. Don't smoke. Don't do drugs. Have a great weekend.
Not a
Adios,
chance.
everyone.
Boom, boom.